BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA and NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, the game starts here. This episode of Private Talk is sponsored by Alexis Token. Remember, everything's bigger in Texas.
All right, we are back. I want to know all more. We're going to reverse this thing and get right back to who you are, Miss CJ Sparxx.
Yes, okay, so I'm a sober bikini model. I have been doing the bikini modeling. That's how I got my start back in the MySpace days.
MySpace?
Yeah.
Top 3, top is something like that?
Top 8. Yeah,
top 8. Was like something like that.
Yeah. So I got started there.
So were you always just confident in your own skin? You just then how did you start even just doing bikini, like modeling? Because for me, I did a bikini thing, but it was I just drunkly was like, yeah, let's do it. It wasn't like because I was, I wasn't not confident. But
Right.
What got you to become a sober bikini model?
Oh my gosh. I grew up super religiously, so I only owned ever like one bikini when I was growing up, and I was just scared of my body in general, and I had no boobs. So I had 2 jobs. I waitressed, and then I worked at Walmart in order to get my very first boob job. And I saved up, and I'll never forget, I was like, I'm leaving Walmart, I'm out of here, I'm gonna, be a model. And the women that worked,
the countdown on the calendar.
Yeah. They were like, oh my God, you're gonna get a boob job. Are you sure that's what you want to do with all your hard-earned money? I'm like, yes, I know that for a fact. That's what I want to do.
Absolutely.
So I went and got my boob job, and I thought, okay, like now I'm gonna be a model. And I answered some modeling audition things off Craigslist. And so I made a couple extra $100 doing like some nude modeling on Craigslist. And so I dabbled in that for a little while. And then I started with a bikini company called Teasum. It's like really, really old. They're still around today, but
are they like very tiny?
Very,
yes. Very tiny.
Tiny
this
string
big booty
bikinis.
would swallow all of that.
Yeah, but that's the point. They love that.
They just want the patch?
Yes. Yeah. Just a little patch, and it's literally just strings, like smaller strings and shoelaces. Mm-hmm. Now those type of bikinis are pretty common. Mm-hmm. But this was like 15 years ago.
The only one that I remember that was kind of similar was Wicked Weasel.
Yes.
Like it was like super.
So this was like the sister exactly to Wicked Weasel. And and when I first put on these bikinis, like the guy handed me like, here's your outfit for today to shoot in. I was like, oh, you're like,
haha, where's the real thing?
I remember going into the bathroom and I put it on, and I was just looking at myself in the mirror like, what am I doing? Like, what is going on? And but you can't help but feel sexy in those, even though I didn't really realize what I was doing or what kind of a monster I was creating in myself. I remember putting it on, and I remember just thinking like, this is hot. I didn't realized at the time, but I felt good. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to continue to do this. And so I started with Teasum, and then I got into webcamming with them also. And so I started doing the bikini modeling, and then it kind of just took off. I was really, really bad at it at first, really, really bad. Up until like a couple years ago, I've been modeling for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. And up until about a few years ago, I was really bad at it. But I just kept doing it.
But why do you say that you're really bad? Like, who told you were bad? Like, how can you be? For me, I always feel like it's trial and error. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't really, nothing's really wrong.
Right.
Nothing's bad. It's just like we said earlier, you do better or you learn from it. But like, why would you consider it bad?
Oh, I consider myself that I wasn't any good because I didn't know my angles. Like nowadays, girls will be like, oh, I want to be a model, so I practice my angles in the mirror, and this is my good side, and this is my bad side.
You were watching America's Next Top Model?
I didn't know any of that. I didn't realize that I had a side. Like even when I came here to sit down, I was like, okay, this is my left side, this is my good side, because one of my sides of my mouth like goes up. I have like an Elvis lip curl. Like you can see, and it kind of goes up. It's like a snarl. It's not cute. It's not cute on me. It was cute on Elvis, but not on me. And so my left side is like my good side. I just realized that like a couple years ago.
But I feel like, okay, I could understand being a female. Mm-hmm. I modeled certain things, but I mean, and again, it's to each his own as whatever, but I don't really believe in all that. Like
Yeah.
you are who you are, and people loved you
Right.
before you knew what your good side was.
Right, that's true.
And so I feel like sometimes when we put so much like attention or like, you know, not shame, because you're not shaming yourself,
Right.
but you're putting like a negative thing out there. It's
Right.
like, girl, you're beautiful.
Right.
It doesn't matter what side. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Yeah. And I was having so much fun. I just kept going with it. And like you said, I had fans. I would do my webcamming thing and people loved me on there. And so I webcam for Streammate for many years under Teasem, the webcam host or whatever. And so I had so much fun with it. I just kept going. I think the thing about it is that I always felt so uncomfortable and it showed, but really I enjoyed it. I think also too, I was drunk a lot. I was drunk so much. I was like partying all the time. And I think,
so the sober bikini thing wouldn't last for very long.
No. Well, I started out, I would be so nervous. And so I would drink or I would get in a room full of like really successful people, like beautiful women, good looking men. And I'd be like, oh my God, I don't fit in here. I need to go straight for the bar. And so I never really like grew from any of those experiences until like about 3 years ago, I got sober. So now I'm doing the sober bikini model thing. But before thank you. But I was so self-conscious, and that's how I fixed it. So it fixed it.
Makes
so
sense.
I would get drunk. Yeah. And I never really learned any tools. So now I know that I have a good side or a better side. I like how you put that. I have a better side.
There you go.
Then, and
Talk life into yourself, girl.
Exactly. And I'm in the gym. I take good care of myself. I watch what I eat. I try to get, sleep is hard to come by, but I try to get my 8 hours where I can. I do the hair thing, the Botox, all that. So I feel like I put more into my body now at this point, and so I pay better attention to detail and the way things look on me, and I just feel better all around.
It's all about feeling good, and those things, sometimes like we weren't in the financial spaces to do those things. So when you realize that you can do this and keep up with that, it encourages you to continue to do that maintenance and be preventative.
But I had so much fun doing it. I got to travel. And doing the modeling thing for me, I was like started out on Craigslist and was doing different like nude modeling shoots there. And you can Google me and you can see like some of my really old. I had a really bad boob job. Oh my God, it was so bad. I had like a huge space. I'll never forget one time on Instagram, somebody made a comment saying it looks like her boobs got in an argument and like one is running away.
Oh no, people are really mean. But
it was true. I couldn't even be mad at it because I'm like, oh, there is such a huge space. So I kept going with all that because I enjoyed it. I don't know why to this day, because for the longest time I felt like I wasn't good at it, but I was still enjoying it and I was still having fun.
I feel like the empowerment thing for you. I feel like for me looking at it is like, because each time you said you may not have been great at it, but you liked it.
I liked it.
And if you like it, you keep showing up and you're going to get good at something,
That's really what happened. And I'll never forget, I was doing it for like 8 or 9 years. And then some guy was like, it's my boyfriend at the time. He was like, you're not going anywhere with this. Like, you're just like a nude model. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, okay, I really want to do Playboy. And he's like, if you do Playboy, I'm going to dump you. And, like many free-spirited women, in my head, I'm like, okay, I have to do it now because you're kind of like giving me this ultimatum. I'm not hurting anybody. You're not really that nice to me in the first place. You're kind of always an asshole to me in the first place. And so now it's like I had it in my head. So then that was like the final straw for me. I'm like, I have to do Playboy now. And so when I got Playboy Mexico, he was so upset. He was just like, that's it. We're not together anymore. Da, da, da. But I remember thinking like, okay, now I can finally say that I've done something. So when I got the Playboy Mexico and I became Playmate for Playboy Mexico, then I thought, okay, now I'm going to move my career to the next step. And so I started doing some work there. And then I think that's where I finally started gaining some sort of like body confidence that I would be able to go and do this thing and get some notoriety from it. And then, a few years later, OnlyFans. And so now I'm just like, well, how you were saying, if somebody doesn't like it, there's going to be another girl out there that they're going to enjoy, or there's going to be another body type out there that they're going to enjoy. And so I just kind of keep doing my thing. And then now getting sober, I have like, I'm just, I don't want to say I'm full of myself because I'm not, but I'm just really confident in that, like how you were saying, this is me, this is how I look. This is the one body that I have. It's taken me this far already. So if you're not enjoying it, if you don't like it, there's a million other people you can go and
For sure. And you should, I don't think that you should think that as a negative thing by saying they're saying that you're overweight, because you should know your worth. You should know all those things. And if it took you being insecure, which is ironic how full spectrum really come, is like you were still doing the bikini stuff, but you didn't feel comfortable. But people probably would never know that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But so it's like, it's just the consistency and showing up. And then you gained all these things. You met these people. It opened doors for you and other things. So it's cool to see you here having that confidence and owning it. And, and if you're, obviously being sober, a lot of people can't do, but 3 years, it's a big accomplishment, and standing in your own right, sober. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you can mindfully say, if what right or wrong or what's going to happen next year, you can say that in a full conscious mind that this is you.
Right. Yeah. I think I grew up really religiously, super religiously. And I think I was always taught to kind of have shame. So I think subconsciously, I always carried that around.
How did that play in a factor with you being even just a bikini model? Because you said like you only had one bikini growing up. I had one bikini. So it's like, now that you're a bikini model, what did your parents say, or your family, or your religion?
First off, I want to shout out that one bikini. I got that one bikini from Ross.
What color was that bikini?
It was like like a tropical print.
Ooh.
And
Aloha?
It was like with the palm trees, and I probably had like some little floaties on it or something. And I got it on sale at Ross. And
you got it at Ross. This is not an ad, but we love a Ross sale.
Yeah, exactly. I got it on sale at Ross, and I was like, oh my God, this bikini, I think I had it for like a few years. It was like the bikini. Do you still have that bikini, CJ? No, I wish I did. I wish I did.
You need to go find a replica and do like a shoot in it, just so you can, get that old thing back.
Oh my God. That will be the biggest bikini I own, let me tell you. But so that little bikini took me everywhere. I'll never forget that. I used to stuff it too, like before I got my boobs. And I'll never forget too, when I came out of the water one day, like we went on a little school field trip, the water was flying out of because like the boob, like the things that you put in.
How do you stuff a thing in the water?
I cut the bikini. I cut on the inside. It would there's like a little tan piece of skin. Like I don't know what it's supposed to protect your nipples. Type things I cut it in there, and I stuck it in from like a Fredericks bra to push up the boobs. I had to make my own makeshift bikini push up bra.
Like, what's coming flying out of this bathing suit?
So no, the water was like coming out, because when I was in the water and I had gotten out of the water, it was like a sponge. It had sucked it up. And then when I came out, you're kind of like washing yourself off. The water was like falling out like a waterfall from my boobs. And my boobs were just deflating. And I was like, oh my God.
This sounds tragic.
It was so tragic. It was so embarrassing. Oh my God. And then it was like, you could see it. And then also too, like I was so flat chested. I was like a 32 AA. I didn't even need. And I'll never forget this one time too. Like I think I was doing something naughty with this boy. I was probably going to have sex. And I don't know if you remember, I was taking off my top for some other reason. I don't know. Maybe I was giving him a blowjob or something, but I was taking off my clothes and I threw my bra on the ground and the bra made a noise like on the ground because it was so heavy.
Are there rocks in there?
Because it was so heavy. It was so sad. I'll never forget that. Two things. Just this poor little flat chested girl.
How old were you when you were doing this?
When I first got my boobs done, it was right before I turned 21.
Well, I'm saying you stuffing the bra. Like, was this like an ongoing
13,
thing?
14.
Until you got your...
Yes. Oh. I had nothing. I had a nipple. One nipple, one little like, you know how like you're in the back, like your little back thing will stick out like a little chicken wing. I had like a little... to like demonstrate. It's like a little chicken wing like sticking out. Like that was it. It was a puffy nipple.
But did you get shamed with people saying you didn't have boobs? Because how is a child... knowing that that's not good.
All my friends were developing these big, great, juicy boobs, and I had nothing. See,
I didn't have boobs until like later on. Like I was flat chested for a really long time until like I came back. I mean, I kind of had something. It was probably like an A-ish until like high school, and then when I came back for my freshman year of college, they were like, "You got a boob job?" I'm like, "No, I was like a late bloomer, so I didn't really." Like develop, like I didn't like do anything until I was like 16, 17.
Okay, so no, I lost my virginity young, like right before I turned 13. Like I wasn't even 13 yet. Yeah. And then
And you were flying that girl, little cutlet bras around.
Right.
Girl.
I was flinging it around. I was like, okay, what's happening? Who's next? No, just kidding.
So you were doing topless blowjobs at 13?
Probably.
Because
I had a boyfriend that
I classify them as topless blowjobs.
Yeah, a topless blowjob.
For me, I would just be lazy and just like pull them out. Like, who really wants to throw those things out?
But I made him, this was like in the dark though, like I was like, I will take my top off if you turn all the lights off, and you could like check it out with your hands, but you cannot see with your eyes.
You can feel. Yeah.
You could like feel around. You could catch a feel, cop a feel, but you cannot see it with your eyes. That was where I drew the line.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
really.
I know. But see, that's like the whole shame of like, Christianity and everything. Like maybe if the Lord doesn't see, it's like it doesn't count, So there's like less shame in it for me.
He's always
God
watching. He's always watching.
God's like, I heard that bra fall on the ground from up here in heaven. CJ, you better put that back on.
I see you.
Tell that little boy to leave. But yeah, so I had a boyfriend like at this young age. Like I've always been such like a relationship person. And so, of course you think like I'm going to marry this person. We're going to wander off into the sunset together.
Fools
so,
we were when we were
exactly.
Like,
exactly. I know.
There was a good piece of advice. This, an Uber driver told my friend, she's like, you got to get to 100 dicks before you know.
Okay. What?
You got to try them all out, CJ, before you really know which one you are. 100 dicks.
I'm
sure I've surpassed that. I don't really know because I've done porn for several years.
But that's porn. That's different though. You're working. You're not necessarily even like.
Well, true.
Yeah.
So those dicks don't count. Throw them off the table.
Well, they still count, but your mindset is different. I would imagine you're at work. So if you're fucking in your regular life, you're probably.
I think I'm a beast in the bedroom all the time.
Okay.
I think I don't pat my own stuff in the bedroom.
Okay. Yes.
But I get to a point. there's certain things. But for me, when I was actively in porn, which I haven't shot porn in quite some time, but I really gave it my all. For me, it's like it is working, whatever. But the same thing is for me. If I enjoy sex so much that I don't want to half-ass it, I don't want to do it, and that's all across the board.
Right.
So, and that's why I excelled in porn was because
that's
for
what
me
I was going to say. Yeah.
I used to always say I'm a sexual athlete.
You were enjoying.
So
you were genuinely enjoying.
110%. Right. If I'm fucking, I'm coming.
Right.
I don't need I don't need you to make me come. I can make me come by looking at you and fantasizing about something because I can just do that.
I love that.
You know what I mean? There's one thing about that's another little food for thought.
Okay.
It was I could find one thing about somebody to make me like.
Okay. I'm a little bit like that myself.
You don't always like your male partners or even female partners sometimes, but you're working and it's not a dating pool. It's not whatever. So at that time, I'm like, I'm not trying to like fuck them at home.
Right.
So I'm like,
but you're still wanting to enjoy.
I'm gonna fuck the shit at you out here on set, so you want to fuck me when you're at home.
Oh my God. I love that. But that's probably why you excelled. Yeah.
For sure.
And you made a name.
And again, it was something I loved to do.
Right.
And I wasn't ashamed of the sexual aspect. And I never really was. For body shaming, I never was. I was always a fool. But coming from Texas, there's a lot of curvier girls. So I just felt like I fit in. Until I got into the porn industry, the body types was very different. And even just being in California, like so it was very, that dynamic was, but I never, even to this day, like the side parts, like people would be so like upset about it. Like, I have to like fight for you. I'm like, go whatever side you want. I don't really care. I'm like,
really?
Yeah. I'm not very picky when it comes to that. Like, I just enjoy what I do.
Right.
And I don't have the time to nitpick and like edit a lot of things. Sometimes I look good, sometimes I don't. Sometimes,
especially in sex though, that's what I've learned being sober. You have to let go.
Because there's a lot of girls that would go and do like be in porn and they'd want to keep their makeup for the whole day. No, bitch.
Come on.
I have my eyelashes half off. Like one's like lost somewhere in someone's ass probably. And then, you know what I mean?
It's on a ball sack. So, it's like, oh, there's my eyelash.
The worst would always be like after set, you'd go and you forgot that like there was like cum on your chin.
Right.
And you're like, oh, you forgot that.
But that's...
My ex-husband didn't like that one. But I was like, what? I took a shower. And he's like, yeah, you missed a whole spot. I'm like, my bad. I was telling you to lick it.
Come on, exactly. Yeah. Listen, if you're married to somebody, they're in porn or they do OnlyFans or they're just a public figure.
Well, my ex-husband was in the industry, so he definitely knew.
And he was still upset that you had a little cum on your neck from work?
He wasn't upset like, bitch, what are you doing? He was just like, you might want to go fucking... Because he's not. I'm like, hey babe, I'm home, and he's like, no, I'm not kissing you. Go right back in.
You're not all the way home, ma'am. Go to the shower, come back out, then you're home.
Yeah, he's like, you might want to try that again.
You're like, I was rushing to get home to you, baby, because I love you so much. You're like, go back in that shower.
Yeah, no, ex-husband for me.
I love what you were saying about the 100 dicks, though. Honestly, that sends me back to the point that right now where I'm at, it's not 100 dicks, it's 100 dates. 100 first dates.
So you're single.
I'm so single.
You're ready to mingle.
Yes, I'm ready to mingle.
How long have you been single?
Well, I was in a very serious relationship for about 2 years.
But you're a serial dater.
I'm not a serial dater, and this might sound weird. I'm in my serial dating phase because I want to get married and I want to have kids. And I know that's probably not really that cool to say, but that's where I'm at right now. Why isn't that
cool if that's what you want, girl?
I think, yeah, exactly. I think that I'm practicing now, like putting it out there.
Yeah. We're big on manifesting here.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, yes. So that's why I'm like putting it out there. That's what I'm looking for. So right now I'm serial dating right now for the first time in my life.
Okay, so
it feels so crazy.
How many dicks are on this serial dating?
Okay,
scale?
So I use.
What number are we on, CJ?
I use seeking arrangements.
How long have you been on this serial dating?
Probably a couple months super serial dating.
Okay.
And it feels so
It's really
crazy.
close to serial killer. I don't know if I like this label for you.
Sometimes I feel like I'm about to turn serial killer.
What I like to say, what I'm doing current myself is I'm practice dating.
Okay.
So I'm practice dating because I feel like the more we go on dating, or dates, because I myself haven't dated in a long time. So it's like the more you go, the more you see what you want in a partner, what you don't want, what you like, and like in just conversation, and you know what I mean. And so it's putting yourself out there to do that. But I also think that, the same thing is like with the 100 dicks theory. It's like you really have to like. Marriage and all that is a commitment. People, I think, sometimes rush into things really quickly because we don't want to feel alone. We don't want to do things alone, whatever, where they kind of, not that they're not in love with their partner, but sometimes that fizzles out because it's not really a connection in other ways. There's a lot more to a relationship and work to make it rather than just good sex or a fun time, or you know what I mean? So I feel like people kind of forget that. And with myself, I feel like sometimes with females is like we attach ourselves to just like crumbs because someone's giving us something. In the industries that we're in, it's hard to date because of the persona that people believe that we are. And some of it is true and some of it's not. But for me, it's like if you want to get to know those sides of us, you have to actually put in the work. And nowadays, I feel like the men in just out there in the dating world are very not willing to put in the work. So, you can kind of weed those things out with the practice dating of being like, okay, you know what? I asked you for this and this is what I need. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you're not the one for me. If you show up how I need it, and at this point, again, I'm 36, you know what I mean? I want to be, I want to have a marriage. I was married before, but I was married to the wrong person, but I like the unity of marriage. I want to, share the life that I've created with somebody as a whole being to, continue those things. But that takes work, you know what I mean? So I commend you for serial dating. You think it's silly, but it's really not, you know what I mean? Because that's what you're going to be on the path to get to where your husband is and where your kids are going to be, you know what I mean? Like you have to really believe that that's what you deserve to attract that, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that.
You said too about that you still like believe in like the beauty of marriage. I think sometimes I think it's getting lost a little bit, like how beautiful marriage really can be. I have a failed marriage in my past as well, and I think sometimes as women we get a little bit bitter, like it didn't work out, I'm upset, men are trash. I think it's just like important just to grow from that and just say, okay, that one didn't work out, on to the next. It could still be something really beautiful. I still really believe in like love, and I still think that marriage can be really beautiful. I think sometimes couples put a lot of constraints on themselves. The really awesome part about doing my Inside OnlyFans podcast is I get to see a lot of really happy couples doing like the threesome thing, or like dating, or using like a shit ton of toys, or like we had a
experimental side.
Yeah. And allowing for like the playfulness, the creativeness, allowing for their marriage or their relationship, their long-term relationship, to be still so fun and not putting restrictions on it. I love that, and it's really invigorated like my excitement for a relationship. I feel like growing up and being really religious, I thought like this is how marriage has to be, or this is how you have to be in order to be a good person. It's not. It's really not, which excites me to find my person that I can go out and have some experimenting fun with and still come home and cook a meal, or like be like, okay, babe, you know, what do you want to watch? You want to watch Bridgerton on Netflix or whatever? You know what I mean? And
now you're really manifesting.
But still, yeah, right? But like to have like the man that I can go do some nasty, low down, dirty, disgusting shit and then come home and be like, you know, put the sweatpants on and be like, okay, baby, like let's have dinner and watch some Netflix or whatever. I'm excited for that because for the longest time I felt like I couldn't be that. I felt like I couldn't have that marriage would always have to be in some sort of a box, and it maybe wouldn't be very fun, but like I would need to do that in order to be like a good woman or be a good mom someday. And now I'm finding out I can be sober, I can do OnlyFans, I can have a boyfriend and go to the sex resort and have some crazy sex or have a crazy threesome, and I can come back and still be like a doting wife and still be a good woman, but also like do some nasty shit on the side too, you know? So I'm excited for that because I didn't realize that those worlds could collide until recently.
I think, it sounds like, I don't really know you. That's why we're here too. I think it's a lot of healing. You know what I mean? And for me, like it's
therapy, 3 years of therapy strong.
And that's great. A lot of people are afraid to talk about their feelings and other things. But like when you said the whole bitterness is because people don't deal with that bitterness.
Right.
They resent people for things. And so you stay and you're stuck in that. And then what's going to happen is you're attracting again another person.
That's actually what
really
a lot of the work.
To release and let go is because I don't talk about my ex-husband as far as like what the end of what we happened or whatever, but for me is like that's why I said is like I loved being married. I loved him. It just wasn't the right person. Right. You know what I mean? I too thought that I had to hold on to something. And the more you hold on to something, I lost myself. Right. So it was about, again, putting all that away and forgiving everything. Me, him, the situation, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but we still, as people, could do our own things separately and continue and find something more beautiful that really works and serves for us. Right. You know what I mean? And that's why is until you really resolve issues like that, will you be in a place that you will manifest? Because it's
in you, it's in us, because we're the ones that are keeping attracting this type of person. Because when I look back, I'm attracting physically, they're all different. Because physically, I don't have a type. Short, fat, balding, like tall, like handsome. Bods. Yeah, dad bods, rip guys, black, white, Asian. Like I'm super down. I'm mentally, if I want to be stimulated, and then if you can do that, then the rest is history. But always the personality, if I lined them up physically, they look different. The personality was always the same. Yeah. Always the same.
Personality and traits or as far as
the personality, there was always a big personality, and the traits of always kind of belittling me, belittling my work. And it goes back to childhood, because y'all know everything. Dating my father. I mean, my dad's not gonna see this, but I love you, Dad, just in case you do, Dad. Hi. But daddy issues. Yeah. Who knows? You know what I wish my dad was? He'd be a lot more happier. Hey, God bless. Yeah, exactly. He'd be a lot happier of a man. But it all goes back to childhood. It all goes back to unresolved issues, typically with your dad or your mom. So I have daddy issues style. That's how most of us got here. I'm proud. I've done the work around my daddy issues, but I'm always dating my father, always trying to make my father proud. And then when these men are saying, okay, well, if only you would do X, Y, Z, then I'll be proud of you. Then I'll be worthy of their love. And then I'll be worthy of my father's love. So then once I got into therapy, I was like, okay, I'm good. I can handle this on my own. But then that's now where I'm kind of starting to attract a different type of a man, and I'm excited. But it's like,
excited for you too.
Where are they at though? They're not on Seeking. I've been on Seeking day and night.
Back and let us know how that all works out.
I'll let you know.
After the 100th serial date,
100 first dates on Seeking. Yeah.
So you're in Seeking arrangements. Tell us a little bit more how that works. Like, is it just lining up like dates? Like, are you just go on there and say, hey, I want to date? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. Okay. So I love Seeking arrangements because these guys can fill out their profiles, and you kind of know everything that you need to know. You know how much they make. You know if they've been married or divorced.
All the important things. Credit score.
Yeah, not credit score, unfortunately.
Police history.
I mean, even Donald Trump like had to file bankruptcy, so his credit score probably wasn't, very good at one point. But so the credit score is like whatever, but I would like to know, I want them to have a certain amount of money because I want to be able to stay home with my kids and I want to have financial stability. I talk about this a lot on my podcast. Gifts are my love language. I used to actually be really ashamed of that. I'm not anymore. If you don't want to buy me gifts, it's just like you were saying, then we're just not kind of meant to be together, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that that person is wrong for not wanting to. It just means we probably wouldn't be a long-term love match. So with that being said, typically men that have more money, you would think, it's not always the case, but you would think they would be a little more generous. So when I'm on there, I'm saying, hi, I'm CJ, I'm sober, I'm a bikini model. I'm looking for a generous, financially stable gentleman. I don't care if he has kids. I would hope that you're cool with the baby mama or mamas. So that, that's a lot.
So that's not what is your deal breaker?
Deal breaker would be, honestly, I've dated a guy that had 2 baby mamas and they were both drama. So I can't ever do that again. I'm so scarred from that. Oh my God. You can't be, so I would want for a man to have only one mother of his children and preferably be on somewhat good terms, I would really want somebody who's not going to belittle me for the podcast.
But girl, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to put that in their profile. The profile is all nice and shiny.
Yeah.
And then
that's the thing. That's what I've learned also too. You can't really go out to dinner with these people because everyone's on their best behavior for a dinner. You want to go and do something that's going to potentially put them under a bit of duress. So like I've been axe throwing, I've been hiking, I've been, one thing that I did when I was in a relationship, we went on like a road trip. So maybe you might want to go on a road trip with somebody.
No, you have a serial killer in you're not your serial dater, a serial killer with you. You're going on a road trip? Absolutely not.
I mean, maybe something for 20 minutes, it's not something too far, but you can tell a lot from somebody by the way they drive. If they're like screaming at the other cars and they're driving aggressively and I'm like,
yeah, but again, if you're the first time in the car, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, but I don't know though. Traffic be getting people their real spots to come out.
I mean, we're in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
But I heard that I had a girlfriend when she was like kind of before she met her husband, she kind of went on these dates and she was saying that she would do coffee dates because it's like 30 minutes and you say you have to go somewhere because in 30 minutes you'll know if you just want a second date or if you have any chemistry because then I will say, hey, let's go on a road trip because then you feel comfortable, whatever, at least not knowing someone, but you know a little bit enough to be like, oh, do I get a weird vibe or whatever. So maybe you should add that into your thing as a quick meetup. Be like,
that's
hey,
a good one.
I have some errands, but I'd love to just meet up and let's
typically I do a lunch, or I've even had breakfast dates. This is like a 30s thing, I guess. People go for breakfast.
My girlfriend did the same thing. Yeah.
Love a breakfast date that I can get on with my day. But we've also done like FaceTimes. I've done FaceTimes with people.
Are you getting naughty on your FaceTime?
No.
Tits are
this is not OnlyFans. Like if you want to subscribe to the OnlyFans, we can get naughty on the FaceTime.
Hey, got it.
But like, I'm wearing like my dating hat right now. I've had a couple girlfriends say like, has a guy ever tried to get crazy? Nah, like what if you're gonna pull your dick out on the FaceTime, then it's just not gonna be a match and we're just gonna end the phone call right there.
I have something for you to look at.
Right.
Come here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I'm gonna send you the link, then I'm gonna hang the phone up, then I'm gonna block you.
Has anybody you ever dated showed up in your like chat rooms or like bought a custom video from you?
My ex used to go in there all the time and he would like.
Would he at least spend money?
He would spend money. He would spend money. He would call pussy kitty. He would show me that kitty and I'd be like, oh my God, this is my ex again.
You're back.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I don't really like how people like name like parts, like sexual parts. It's a vagina, it's a dick, it's a cock.
That's what I say pussy or cock,
I mean, I just feel like, why do you need to put, why?
Yeah.
Like,
we were talking a little bit about this on my podcast last night and there was one girl who said yoni. That was cute. I was like, okay, yoni's cute, but like, yeah, kitty's kind of.
But even like, so like there's this book that I'm not fully read, but it's called Pussy, The Power of Pussy.
Okay.
And it's basically everything is like our GPS in the sky. It's like, so everything, we create from our yoni area and our pussy. But and so it's like anything in life, in dating or whatever, if it doesn't excite you there, then it's not for you.
And you have to be excited in your pussy for what you do.
Anything like how how a Kegel feels, right?
Yeah.
Anything if I'm like eating food and it's like orgasmic or whatever, like I like it in my pussy. It feels good.
Okay.
I mean, because people I feel like are so afraid society to say that word pussy,
right?
Which it shouldn't be a bad word,
right? I agree.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like the more you use that word and like in a sense of like in the positive word and not like how I think that, you know, such like people always be like, oh, you're such a pussy. Actually, pussies are pretty powerful.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, you know,
I try not to say that either.
To make it in a sense of
or
like, if it excites my pussy, then
okay.
I'm all for it.
I think that's a little dangerous though, because I've done a lot of things that have been exciting in the pussy, and then I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. So I don't know if I can go around being led by my pussy, but.
Well, I'm not talking about dating on your serial things. I'm just saying until you would get to that dating part, or like maybe on the coffee date where it's like, do you excite my pussy enough for me to want to go on a date with you again?
Right.
Does this coffee excite my pussy enough that I want to drink the whole thing? If it doesn't, I'm throwing it away. Because if it doesn't excite my pussy, then why put it in my life? It's the same thing with like dealing with like half-assed men. Why do we give these people, when we see red flags, why? No. If you know what you want and you're on this plan, then we have to stick to our accountability and be like, hey, you know what? You don't excite my pussy.
I'm the queen of that too. I'm the queen of that. I'm the queen of like ignoring the red flags. I've gotten a lot better in the last year, but it is definitely, you pay for it always in the long run.
You didn't think you're going to get a therapy session with Dr. Texas?
No, I love it. I love it. I'm into it. Whenever I sit down, it's always like some sort of a therapeutic session. I feel
like, you know, that's what good conversations are about. It. You definitely get to know people a little bit more in depth. You know, I was able to surfacely what you were, you know, doing, and I, you know, liked what you were about. So it was cool to see the dynamics of how, you know, even your growth as a person from your, you know, last marriage to where you are now, and how confident you are in saying, you know what, I can be on OnlyFans. I can do this. And if you're not wanting to be a part of that, then someone else will be.
I would get off OnlyFans for the right partner though. If somebody made it really important. I feel
like that's also a thing where you get there. It's not like right away. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause if you have a problem with what that is, then you'll always hold
Well, I would
that
need to be
somebody.
married. I would need to be married. I would have to be married.
We're gonna need to like make a standards and boundaries list for you, and this contract that we're gonna give your future husband. And he needs to make sure he lists all these things on this box.
Well, you want to know what though? My future husband already knows all that. I wouldn't even have to spoon feed him that. He's gonna get it.
Well, no, this is what he's gonna check off.
Yes.
It's like the thing is like, this is who you are.
Yes.
That's your contract in life.
Yes.
Because those are the things that sync you up. You know what I mean? Not the red flags that you're ignoring. No red flags. Green flags only.
It's so important to like how you were saying, to know what you want, but also what you don't want. I think I just barely learned that in my 30s. The things that I don't want.
But that's what serial dating, you know, will help with, is that because some things we're not accustomed to or have never been presented to it. So I don't know what I don't want if I've never had it happen.
Right. That's how I always feel like with these relationships, even if they say like failed relationship, it's like, it was a failure. There are things that I wish I didn't do or wish I hadn't experienced, but I always learn, I always get better. Even like all my drinking and stuff, I feel like I'm so grateful for all the fucking wild partying that I did. Like I used to be so crazy, and I love cocaine too. Like I love cocaine so I could drink more, and I never wanted the party to stop. But I think that because I experienced all that makes it so now that I'm not doing all of that, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like I did it all.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so I don't feel like I'm missing out.
Different perspective.
Yeah, I feel very confident in all of that. Like I did it. It was really fun. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I feel like it's the same. It's there if I want it. I don't want it, so I'm good.
What's your wildest, craziest story when you were back in your party days?
Oh my goodness. Wild is crazy. I mean, I would get so drunk. I would drink and I would pass out. I passed out in Ibiza at Ushuaia. I partied with, I took a cat nap in Ushuaia. If anybody knows what that is, it's a fucking raging club. I took a cat nap, and all my men were coming up to my girlfriends like, is this girl dead? Is she okay? My girlfriends were like, she does this. She's taking a cat nap. She'll be up, 45 minutes tops.
I have a friend like you.
Yeah. Took a nap in the whole club. And so that's sad, but like, okay, cool. But I partied. Yeah, I partied. I needed a nap, and then I was fine after that. Partied till the sun came up. I partied with Eddie Murphy. That was really cool, really fun. I smoked some weed with him. With
Eddie Murphy?
No, I mean, and I'm kind of like grateful for this. People never wanted to like fuck with me because I was always so sloppy. I was just sloppy lady. Like I used to get so drunk too. I got drunk at dinner with 2 exes ago. I get drunk at dinner, and I went in the back of the restaurant, and I was screaming for the cooking wine. And so like all these poor Mexican guys in the back were like, what is this? Oh my God,
You're like, but you're not cooking tonight.
And then the one came up and like gave me the like thing of wine, and he like gave me a little coffee cup so I could like put it in there. I mean, I used to like Postmates. I would Postmates wine because I didn't even want to get up and leave the house. It got really dark. Yeah. It got really dark. And the last time I got drunk, I was like watching a Netflix comedy special, like crying, snorting lines of blow off my Apple computer, and like filming like a WhatsApp story to my brother. My brother was like in the country. I don't know. I was on WhatsApp filming a story for him. Like, I'm sorry. But like, I mean, I partied all around the world. I partied in Dubai. My girlfriend lived in Dubai with her husband. And so we'd go out dancing. And, of course, we're like, making out, groping each other. And we're like, ah. And people in Dubai were just like, oh, my God, like, look away. And
look away.
Look away. Yeah. These women are, like, these women are, what is it? Something. It's like,
I don't know.
Something. They call it, it's like unclean or whatever. So there's like a word for that. Gosh, yeah, like there's been so many different. I was like wasted on a private plane, naked. That was funny. We were like running around taking a bunch of pictures, and I don't even know where these pictures are. They're somewhere on some man's phone to this day. Yeah, like
ever pee on yourself?
A lot of pee on myself, like because I'm so drunk. Oh yeah, I've peed in closets. I don't know why. It's like you pee in a closet because you think you're in the bathroom. Oh, I got hit by a train. Because I was so drunk. In my hometown, they had to shut down like the Southern Pacific part of the railroad.
How did you get hit by a train?
I was so drunk. I was like walking up towards the train. I was like mesmerized. And then there was something sticking out like a piece of wood or a step or something. And it hit me and I flew back. You're so drunk. That's why people survive like drunk car crashes. It's usually like the driver or whatever.
Because you're not like that.
Because you're not stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just walked away. I flew back and then I like hobbled off. My arm was all messed up. And I went into the house and I was like crying. I'm like, oh my God, this is so awful. My friends are like, what the fuck just happened? And then the railroad police came and that was horrible. I've had multiple DUIs. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't. Yeah.
But again, everything is an experience.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you wouldn't be who you are right now, if those didn't happen,
I'm a way better person because of all this.
Glad the train didn't take you.
I'm glad I didn't die. Yeah. I tell that story in AA and people are like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Well, then one time too, this other guy was like, I've been hit by a train too. I'm like, of course you have, sir. Of course you have. Like only in
I got
AA.
hit by a van, like a tap. We were walking, me and my girlfriend we were drunk, but we were
That's why you're alive, because you were drunk.
Thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Meet Joe Black kind of style, like all over the whole thing, but it was just like they were turning and they didn't see us go walking, and literally we were halfway in the thing and they literally like hit us. Oh my God. And then like she just wasn't gonna say anything. I'm like, so my friend goes, she's like, hello ma'am, you hit us. Yeah. And she's like, I don't know, like she was like leaving, like it was like one of those things, like because it was Arizona license plate, they were like moving their kid into college and she was all frazzled and she's like it was a lot. I was like,
did she give you some cash at least?
Nothing. And she was like, and so she just drove away. But we were like, did this just happen to us?
Oh my God.
Hit by a car? And we're like, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my. Yeah, I got.
Again, we didn't have any like, it wasn't like she like plowed into us. It was like a nudge. It wasn't like dramatic, but it was just like, did that just happen? It could be a lot worse than it was. Because like we literally we had the right of way. And nothing to do. She just clearly wasn't paying attention.
Oh my God.
But, yeah. Could have been tragic, but Miss Texas made it.
That's right.
She's still alive to be here in private talk. Because it's got to get done.
Somebody's got to do it.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice I've ever gotten. This is gonna sound so silly, but there's a saying in AA it just says progress, not perfection. I used to be so hard on myself. I probably still really am. But if you can get a little bit of progress, like just shoot for progress. Don't shoot for perfection. Nobody's perfect. You're never going to be perfect. No matter how hard you try, you're going to really wear yourself out and stress yourself out trying to hit, the pinnacle of perfection. If every day you can just get a little bit better, you can do one more thing than you did yesterday, then like you're going to be good. If somebody would have told me that I was going to be 3 years sober, if I would have looked at it from the standpoint of like beginning my whole sobriety journey, and I would have looked at it from that point thinking like 3 years, and it would have seemed so huge. I would have never
thought you could accomplish it.
Yeah. I would have been like, oh my God, I could never do that. But if every day, in AA, it's like every day you just don't drink today. Every day I choose to wake up and not drink today. And then so now I'm at 3 years, and then, you know, maybe further on down the line, I'll be at more and more days and more years and more years. So if I just look at it in the way of progress, not perfection, then I'm going to win. I'm going to win every time. And I feel like that's applicable to business, you know, personal, professional, having to do with family members, having to do with friendships, any of that. If you can just do a little bit more, and if also you can learn, you know, there's no wasted time. If you can still learn from something, then you're just going to continue to get better, and you always win. Whenever you get better, even if it's just a little bit, you always win on motherfuckers. And you don't have to win that hard. If I can just win by like 1%, bitch, I'm still winning. You know what I mean?
We want you to win, CJ. We want you to win.
Thank you. I want to win too.
What is, or have you ever had a crazy interaction with a fan?
I'm so fortunate. I always have had really good interactions. I got catfished when I first started webcamming.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I got so hard catfished that I gave this guy money.
You gave someone money?
I gave him money because he needed to buy a webcam.
Oh no!
This was like before.
Webcam with you?
Yeah, he like to webcam with me, and he was like my super fan, and he spent a bunch of money on me, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he got it all back when all was said and done. But we
charged back. He's like, fuck this.
No, he lied and said that he had a disease. And I think it was cancer or something. He said he had cancer, and he sent me all these pictures of like, I think it was a guy that I found out was like a professional baseball player. I didn't know because I had just started webcamming, and I didn't really realize what this whole world was about. I mean, this was probably like 15 years ago, but he got me off of my webcamming site. And I thought
he is
that
a professional baseball player.
No.
Oh, he said he was.
He said he was. Oh. Yeah. And he sent me, you know, like a very
I wish my buttons worked. You know?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. And so, but I'll never, like, I haven't had any serious interactions with any fans that were crazy or scary. A lot of my girlfriends have had stalkers. I've never had a stalker. My one girlfriend jokes with me, like, yeah, any stalker that I've ever had, I just ended up dating. And so they caught me.
Do you date your fans?
One time I dated and got in a serious relationship with a guy who started out as a fan on my webcams. Yeah.
Did you start doing stuff with him on your webcam?
No, we webcam together for probably just over a year. And we would always just talk, and I like fell in love with him. I'm like really gullible. I'm like so gullible still. I don't know what it is.
Tell us all about it. You know,
I grew up in a small town. I think everybody is, whenever they're talking to me, I'm like, yeah, that's the truth. Why would they lie? And I just take everything what they say.
No, girl.
I know.
I'm from a small town too, 2,200 people. Okay, and my parents are both from New York too. So you know, I got good street smarts built inside of me.
I didn't. I have street smarts now, but I did not have any of this at all.
But I mean, I've never. Can you tell us the amount of money you gave this man?
For sure thousands. I don't remember.
Thousands?
It was probably for sure thousands. I would say at least 2,000 or 3,000.
How long did you have this fake relationship?
Over a year. Okay, so I want to be clear. I dated somebody that's a different fan, but the guy that catfished me, this is somebody I never ever met in person, and he probably spent more money on me.
That's why you got catfished. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They'll say like,
yes,
string it along.
Yes, he strung me along, and so we had a thing like back in the day with Stream8. Nobody was webcamming, so this was like unheard of. You know, Facebook and MySpace were kind of still going, but so not a lot of people had the webcammings. Or the webcam, and the girls that were webcamming were like raking it in, and we were doing nothing. Like I wasn't doing toy shows or anything like that. I would get nude every now and again, and I would just wear those tiny little bikinis, and I had such a fan base. It was a lot of fun. But that being said, he got me off the site because we would chat in free chat. Like free chat, where I would just be kind of waiting for a paid customer to come in, do a show. And then he'd be in the free chat back. Like I'd be sometimes gone for like half an hour, and he'd still be there waiting for me. And so we just became.
He lives in his mom's basement.
Exactly, because he lives in a basement. Yeah. And I think he really did. I think he really did. But so he would still be there. And so we created like a really like a loving friendship. This guy told me all these things that, you know, he's successful doing the baseball thing or whatever. And he had this whole life, and then he got sick. And so then now, he's like really suffering because he's not able to have his regular life. And so I ended up like kind of like, probably falling a little bit in love with this person. And I kept saying, okay, here's money for a webcam. Here's money for this.
The idea of someone.
Right.
Because that's what they're
and he was filling a void for me.
Yeah.
Because I was lonely too. So I was like craving this real connection. And I thought that I was cultivating this real connection with like some man who was really going through it. I thought I was helping him too. We were helping each other, right? Like,
I hope Mr. Catfish, you're watching this. I'm on to you.
I'll never forget his name was JC Poo Poo Face or JC Poo Poo Head.
And
that was his name.
Fell in love
with him. I sure did. I was ready to run off and have a family with JC Poo Poo Face.
CJ.
So bad. It's so bad.
I just, you really got me.
I got played so hard by JC Poo Poo Face. I don't know. And like, and so long story short, I sent him all this money. And finally one day I was like, you're an asshole. You're totally stringing me along. That's it. Like, if you don't show me yourself, then we're not going to be friends anymore. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And so he finally turned on his computer, and it was a very large man in stature. And it was black and green, like the camera was like black and green, like night vision. And there was a bunch of computers. Yes. It was so scary. It was so scary because in that moment I was just like, clearly you're not who you've been telling me you are for well over a year now. And also this person looks like he could maybe be tracking me down, tracking my whereabouts. I have some of my personal information. So I clicked off and we spoke a little bit after he apologized, and then that was it. I was like, oh my God.
We're not doing that again. I know it was a long time ago.
We're not, yeah.
Even though you fell in love with the next guy, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, I can't believe I told that story.
100 dicks, CJ, 100 dicks.
Oh, I don't know about that. 100 dates.
We'll modify it for you, okay? We'll modify it. How many dicks do you think it is at this point? We didn't say that number.
How many dicks do I think it is? I don't know. And honestly, does it really fucking matter?
Yeah,
I don't think it does.
Here at Private Talk.
I don't think it does.
Not work, personal.
Yeah.
From the time you started your serial dating.
From the time I started my serial dating?
Yeah.
Like just the men that I've been dating off seeking arrangements?
Yeah, your new journey. Not your whole life. You're saying this is a new you. So you're saying that two?
Yeah.
Oh, you got work to do.
I know I do have work to do in that. Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Sad. I'll go on the first dates and I just, there like won't really be a spark. Yeah. And if I'm so I'm like a little bit
on the first date.
If I wanted to, fuck yeah, of course, yeah. I need to be treated well. Mm-hmm. I need to be treated well.
Okay.
Like I can't just be physically attracted to somebody. I need to be treated well.
What
personality.
What are 3 things you look for in a partner? If you were on a seeking arrangements date, what would be the 3 top that you're like, okay, I'll either consider him or be a next date. It's be potential.
Okay, he can't take himself too seriously. I love to laugh. I just went to the comedy club last night. I love to make fun of myself. I love to laugh about things that people probably shouldn't laugh at.
You have a dark humor?
Yeah, I have a dark sense of humor. And I just love people that are open and unapologetically themselves. I love that. So he has to be confident. He has to not take himself too seriously. He must be financially stable. He doesn't necessarily have to be rich, but you need to be financially stable. And ideally, you need to be generous. And then number 2, I just don't really want to hear any drama talk like about a baby mama or about an ex-girlfriend or like your drama at work. I'm not really here to be like your sounding board, especially on the first date.
Not your therapist.
Yeah, I'm not your therapist. So I love, typically when a guy is like, no drama queens or whatever, typically that tells me that you bring the drama. Yeah. Exactly. If you're continuously encountering women that bring drama, you bring the drama. You invite the drama.
For sure.
And I can't handle it. I can't handle that. So if we can do that, then yeah, for sure. I'm like, it's such a turn on. I've met men too that even the way that they smell, if you smell good, oh my God, I get so wet. It's so, and it does. If you smell good and you can laugh, you're not afraid to laugh, you don't take yourself too seriously. Oh my God. Oh, you could get it. You could get that topless blowjob, baby. Yes.
What's something that you would not do sexually that's just completely off limits for you? She's like, nothing.
If I'm really into somebody, because here's the thing, if you sat here and you asked me like, CJ, are you turned on my armpits? Would you ever lick somebody's armpit? My first reaction is no, I wouldn't do that. But if we're fucking and if we're in the heat of the moment and you need me for me to lick your armpit, you're like, that is the only way I can come. I'm gonna lick the shit out of your armpit. I'm gonna lick the shit out of your armpit. I'm gonna lick that armpit like I never licked it. Probably, yeah, at some point. I've licked toes. Yes. I like toes.
I'm a foot person.
Yeah, I've sucked toes before.
I definitely like a man with nice feet too.
Yes, yeah, nice feet and nails. Because if you pay attention to that detail, what other areas of detail do you have that you pay attention to? Yeah.
What is your favorite part? What body part that you're like most like? Yeah, that's hot.
Oh my God. I don't really necessarily need a man with like a fit body.
No, for you, not a man.
For
yourself. What's your favorite part of
I really love my shape. Okay. It took a long time for me to really embrace my body. I used to
like the feminine like curves.
Yeah, I have like a really nice like I have big boobies and a little waist and big hips, and I always used to feel really self-conscious of like my big hips, and now I've really learned to embrace it. Like I got a little bit of cellulite. Nobody's complaining. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. And so the minute I kind of figured that out, and also the minute where I was just like, okay, if you like don't want to fuck me because I got some cellulite, don't. Like it's okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be good. I'll go home and make myself a sandwich. I'll be fine.
I can make myself come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've been getting really good at that lately. I discovered I could come 2 times in a row.
That's important.
I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Like, is it clitorally? Or?
Yes, clitoral and penetration. Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go into Truth with Texas, and we're getting warmed up.
Okay.
So
Yay. I'm scared and excited.
That's all good feelings.
Like all the best things in life.
So we've got 4 cards. Each ace is a different suit, and we're going to do different types of questions. We're going to go through each one.
Okay.
And see what it's about. All right. First card. Don't be scared. I won't bite you, I promise.
Okay. It's the Ace of Hearts.
It's a romantic question.
Oh my God.
Would you consider yourself a romantic?
Okay, so earlier on, I wasn't, because I myself didn't pay attention to detail. Now I am. Now I'm romantic, and I like romance myself. I like candles for myself. I love candles that smell good.
It's important to date yourself.
Yes, yeah. I really do, and that was something that happened for me too after I got sober. I want to surround myself with beautiful things that make me feel good. Even feminine colors, the color pink, or like doing something like this is simple, like with my hair, and get some fun braids. Like, is there a point? No, but I feel good. I love it. Yeah. Like it. Yeah. So so now I would, yes.
What's the most romantic thing someone's ever done for you?
Oh my God. I mean,
I love how you're like glowing. You're like,
yeah.
Oh. You're getting that feeling back of what
Yeah. Probably the most romantic thing somebody has ever done for me is buy me diamonds. But I mean, I guess it's romance.
Are there diamonds that are on you right now?
Yeah. Yeah. My girlfriends have even bought me diamonds. So too, like, I love, like, diamonds make me horny.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Giving or receiving?
Okay. So both. I've discovered the excitement in giving other people gifts too. Okay. I was just dating somebody not that long ago, and I discovered the joy in buying like little things for him. And so now I can see it feels good to also reciprocate too. I didn't always do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah, exactly.
Biggest turn on?
Oh. Biggest turn on, like in sex, or just like all of it? Biggest turn on in sex, when somebody is not afraid to explore, when somebody doesn't rush through. Sometimes you have 10 minutes, you got to get it in, rush through, baby. Let's not worry about the details. Let's make it happen. But when somebody takes their time with you, oh my God, like a waterfall, like you just get so wet, and then that's like when you can just come just from like a light touch. Yeah, that's my biggest turn on. And then when somebody does that consistently, that's just what, like, they could just touch your knee, and then you're coming, because you're so turned on by the thought of them taking a moment to get to know you. That it like translates into other things too. So yeah, just take your time. Love that.
It's not a race. Go slow.
No, yeah. You gotta go slow. Make it last. Make it count. Yeah.
All right, next card. I love how you get nervous.
Oh my God. Oh, this is okay. Ace of clubs, right? Is that okay?
Clubs is a kinky question.
Ooh, okay.
Favorite time of day to have sex?
Morning wood.
Morning wood.
Oh my God, incredible.
So you have morning wood? You have morning lips?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll figure it out. whatever. Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
Bondage, yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. I don't like the something about the hands behind my back though. I'm kind of not really into.
You don't like to be like tied down with hands. You have to be kind of
no,
free.
because I have to touch my clit. So
Okay.
like if I can't, like I have to really trust you.
Your like safe space.
Yes. I just touch it and then it's like.
You do your leg every time?
Yes, every time. I can't do it with the. I guess I could. I guess sometimes, yeah. But yeah, it's more enjoyable when the legs spread.
I would like find myself sometimes when I get nervous, I touch it. Like,
Yeah.
I have to catch
or when you
myself. I'm
sleep,
like,
if you're like
oh, I
sleeping in a foreign
definitely-
country, you're just like, okay, grab myself. Okay, she's still there. We're all good.
She's still there. She better not run away. She better not. Have you ever been caught masturbating?
No, but I've talked about this before. Like, I have like masturbated watching TV with like my mom and my brother and sister. Like, I was touching myself when I was like 14 years old, like 14, 15 years old. Like when you're just discovering yourself. I'll never forget. I don't know what we were watching, but I was like, I remember this happening. And I was just thinking, this is like not, why am I doing this? And I couldn't help it. So I think I went in the other room and like finished up, but I was like, this is weird. But I was young. I didn't care.
You're like, I'm going to the bathroom. Gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been caught, but I mean, I definitely feel like my mom is probably.
Have you caught a partner?
Yeah. I used to wake up in the middle of the night.
Would you get mad, or would you like help him out, or would you like?
So here's the thing. I wouldn't be mad because I think that's just really uncool. Mm-hmm. I think girlfriends that get mad at their boyfriend for masturbating and watching porn, that's just too much for me to care about. Do I really care?
I mean, I've apparently broke up relationships. I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, I'm a fictional character.
Right.
I'm like, they don't know me.
Exactly.
I'm like, they just like to watch me.
Right. Exactly. Like it's very healthy. Porn's very healthy. Masturbation's very healthy. But if he is masturbating instead of fucking me, then I have a little bit of an issue with that. I take issue with that. If you would rather masturbate than fuck your partner, then that's where things do start to get a little
Just
hairy.
keep you satisfied,
Yeah.
and then you can still masturbate.
Yeah, of course.
Do what you gotta
Absolutely.
do.
And don't hurt your dick either.
What does that mean?
My ex would like masturbate until his dick would go raw.
Chronic masturbator? Is that a thing? I guess.
Yeah.
Like-
might be some other issues going on there. Just saying. Yeah. But use lube. Don't get so lazy that you like masturbate so
spit on
hardcore. Your dick. Yeah. Do something. You're in your own home. Surely there's coconut oil somewhere. A few steps away. Coconut oil is my favorite.
Is that why you broke up with him?
Well, there was a plethora of things happening.
Chap dick is no go for you.
Yeah, I
CJ
mean,
Sparxx.
sometimes it happens, but yeah, like I don't want to have sex with a raw pussy. So like put your, like be good to yourself. Don't just like beat yourself up. Yeah.
Treat yourself right, girl.
Yeah, get some of that good coconut oil and go to town.
What's the most number of times you've had sex in a day?
Oh gosh. 8, 9, 10.
11,
Yeah.
12? We're going to keep going
I was
up?
a lot. No, I was a lot younger though.
So
now,
10?
now probably maybe not 10, but let's just say 8.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It needs to be satisfying. I don't think at that age I was having satisfying sex. I think we were just getting it in. I want to be satisfied.
Were you satisfied when you weren't sober having sex, or were you just doing it to do it?
Sober sex has been 1
No,
million.
I mean, when you were not. Like, so when you were, like, your party days, were you
Yeah.
having sex
No.
for fun, or was it because you were actually, like,
I think I
enjoying
always
it?
I think I always felt kind of like obligated, but I never was ever finding like real true enjoyment. Now I reach down, I touch my clit, and if you're weirded out, you're weird, not me. I'm not
your
weird.
best friend, you should know all about her.
I'm not weird for touching myself because that's how I get off, And I kind of do believe that as a woman, if you don't know how to get yourself off, like that's not cool. You can't go and blame it on the guy. You have to know how to get yourself off.
I also think it's about communication, because
Yes.
I think that, like, you can't read your mind. Like, if something doesn't feel
Exactly.
good, say it.
You have to, but
know?
for the longest time, I always felt bad saying, I like this, I want it like this, can we try it like this? I never had the guts to speak up. And now that I'm sober, I do. And if you ever find yourself in bed with CJ Sparxx and we're having sex and you ever try to make me feel bad about what I'm asking you for, immediately you can leave. I'm not even gonna get you your own Uber. You're gonna leave. Get your own Uber. You're done. You're out. No sandwich for you on the way out. That's it. Out the
Oh
door.
my
Go.
God. Do you usually give your sex partners sandwiches afterwards?
I mean, yeah,
Is
if
this
I
a
like
CJ
them.
special?
Yeah,
What kind of sandwich
absolutely.
are we talking about?
A little turkey sandwich, a little grilled option, a little cheesy
Oh,
goodness.
grilled,
Yes,
okay.
we put it in the panini maker. Bye, boo. Call me. A little baggy to go.
Lunch bag. All right.
Yeah.
Next card. I can't with you. You're hilarious.
Okay. Ace of diamonds.
You weren't that nervous with that pool. All right,
Yeah.
diamonds. A spicy question. Which
Okay.
we're all a little spicy.
Okay.
Let's see. Oral sex, sloppy or clean?
Sloppy? Sloppy.
I'm not convinced. That didn't sound like.
Like clean, like if I got home from the gym, I would have to take a shower.
Like you're just like gonna come in your mouth and you're not gonna like get it on your face.
Oh,
Or like, are you a spitter? You're like trying to like you're really like.
no. Oh my God. Okay. My favorite thing to do, gag. I love.
You're a gagger?
that. Oh my God. I love. Yes. I love it. It's so fun. It's so hot and it makes more
Do
spit.
you have a gag reflex?
Not so much. I've never like.
What's the biggest thing that's in being in your mouth?
Like I feel like you have to breathe through your nose. You have to continue to like breathe through your nose, and you can't think about it that much. You just have to do it.
She's giving you a
You just have to do it. Like leave your soul needs to leave your body. Go up there. She'll be there when you're ready to have her back. She's not going anywhere. She's not gonna go far. She'll come back, but just forget about like don't think about it. Just go for it. Gagging on a nice like gagging on a cock that is attached to somebody that you are so incredibly turned on by. Oh, it's sacred.
If your eyes aren't watering, it's not doing it.
Oh my God, it's so hot. It's so fun.
I feel like I'm turning you on right now talking about it.
I love giving blowjobs to like somebody that I don't know if I'm like about to give a blowjob like on the first, like we could fuck on the first date, but I don't know about giving a blowjob on the first date.
Why is blowjobs more intimate than fucking?
Because it's your mouth that you're putting on their penis.
And going
but you put a
inside of
condom though. If you put a condom, it's like a little barrier.
I
like
mean, a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, it's like it's almost not happening. Like if it wasn't good, it's just like we don't have to count
It's still
that.
happening. This is the problem.
But like if I'm sucking your dick, like you kind of had to earn that a little bit, you know, because I'm not sucking a dick with a condom.
Wouldn't you want to suck it to see if it was proper enough to be inside of you?
No, I could tell. I could tell by grabbing it, or I could tell like the way that my body's responding. Like it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. Have you ever had pity sex?
Yeah. Of course. I have pity sex with myself. Of course. Sometimes I feel pitiful. I need to make myself feel better. I do it with myself. I've done it before with other people.
Have you ever had revenge sex?
No, but I'm trying.
But you're trying.
I'm trying right now immediately. I got some overdue revenge.
Oh,
yes.
Revenge pussy is out on the prowl. All right, the last card is Ace of Spades, which is our favorite, is the naughty question.
Okay.
Ever made a woman squirt?
No, and I'm so sad. We talk about it all the time on my Inside OnlyFans. I have tried to make myself squirt. We never
made yourself squirt either.
No, and we've had an ongoing debate.
I'm a squirt master.
Okay, please tell me something, Alexis,
Yes.
please.
I'll tell you. What do you want to know?
What is squirt?
So it's a mixture. I feel like it's like female ejaculate. And I feel like there is a little bit of pee.
Okay, all right. My co-host, Kayla Loren,
Like,
she
it's
told
not
me it's pee.
I don't think it's straight up piss.
Okay.
But there are girls that do over exaggerate that thing, and I feel have.
That do it with the pee.
But that's also like in porn. When I first did my first squirting scene, I'm like, I've never squirted in my life. I don't even know what that really means. But they made you drink a lot of water. And so you stay hydrated. And then like when it was when you're coming, and it's like, it basically feels like, I guess the best way for me to describe it is when you hold your pee so like long and you finally pee, that like feeling is what it feels like when you're squirting. And some people squirt where it's like just splashes, and some people squirt where it's a fucking Niagara Falls.
A stream,
like
yeah.
I mean, Flower Tucci, she could fucking squirt across the room, and I'm like, that's kind of probably, but she was
That's so
a pro.
incredible. Oh my God.
But yeah, it's definitely sexy. I just think because it's like once you learn, and it's all about learning the pussy, because if you know how it works.
I'm gonna go home and masturbate, just so you know.
I got magical fingers, there's a technique to it.
Yeah, you have to hook. It's a hook, right?
Yeah, but it's also a hook and a
hook and a up.
Yeah. And you got a little,
Yeah, like a come
Like
hither.
the noise that you have to do the noise at the same time.
Oh yeah, if you don't do the noise, what is it for the horse?
Usually the pussy noise like replaces the noise I'm making, but I'm not gonna shove my fingers right now in my ear. If you want to go to my OnlyFans, you can subscribe.
You will get the real noise, not the mouth noise, the real noise. No, I really, honestly, I one day want to squirt so bad. If there are any people that just could give me any tips, any tricks, I'll
let you know. Dr. Texas will take the script here. We'll give you some techniques.
Perfect.
We'll teach you. We'll see, give you some homework.
Yeah, yes, give me some.
Do something for yourself.
Please,
do something for your vagina.
Yeah.
Make yourself feel good.
Oh,
great.
I really, really, really want to learn how to squirt.
I actually have toys upstairs. I'll send you a toy.
Maybe you could,
I'll send you home with the toy. But remind me, because I always say that and people
okay, I will remind you.
I feel bad.
I will call in. Is there a call-in segment? Alexis, please, the toy.
Spotify just upped their ante. There is some kind of calling thing. So maybe
you're like,
soon.
CJ, stop calling me for the toy. I'm like, please. You're like, it's the 10th time today. I really, no, I love women. I actually.
Would you ever consider dating a woman?
Yeah, I've tried to date women twice. We're just so emotional, and what happens is I end up being kind of like the more masculine, because I can kind of I'm a little bit in the middle, and I end up being like the more masculine one, and I just end up getting unhappy and resentful. Yeah. So it's just not for me.
It's not the role you want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Mile High Club, yes or no?
Yes.
Was it on that private plane that you were naked with? The pictures that we don't know, but if you have them, send them.
I know. Call in, email. No. Yes, I have had sex on a plane. I was really, really drunk. I actually just remembered this like a few months ago that I had even done this. Not vaginal sex though, oral sex.
I was gonna say anal. Fuck.
Yeah.
Where are you going straight to?
Oh my God, no, I know, right? Oh.
The way my mind thinks, you don't.
Yeah. No, I gave a blowjob, so it was like so exciting and wonderful.
I'm not quite like a blowjob queen. You like to do blowjobs.
Yeah, I mean, if I love somebody, or if I'm like in a relationship, I love a blowjob, and I love a sloppy blowjob. And I love to make the gagging noises and everything. I feel like it's so, because
experience.
It is, and you can have sex with somebody, but yeah, if you have a condom, there is something so intimate about having somebody's penis in your mouth. That's crazy. That's crazy. Vagina in your mouth. That's crazy.
Your future husband will love it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, some man out there. As long as you can just give me like some gifts every now and again, you're financially stable, you want to have 1 or 2 kids, sweetheart, you can get a sloppy blowjob any time of the day that you want, baby.
I support her message. You hear that, Private Talk? All right, that is the rest of Truth with Texas. Is there anything you'd like to ask Miss Texas before you leave, Private Talk?
I wanted to ask you about squirting, but we got to that. So, and I'm not gonna.
I like that I brought it up.
Yeah, we got that was like my number one. I was like, oh my gosh, please teach me how. But yeah, so I hope I can get a toy before I go, a little goodie bag.
Of course.
Okay.
Please let us know where we can follow you, support you, and do all those things.
Okay, so my Instagram is CJ Sparxx, CJ Sparxx, only 2 X's. And that's my Twitter, that's my YouTube. I'm not so active on TikTok. They just delete me. I'm CJ Spizzle on there right now, but I have like... Spizzle. I know they're probably gonna delete that too, because it sounds like sperm or spunk or something. They're like, she's a whore, get her off. Yeah. So that being said, the best place to find me is my OnlyFans. I'm very active on there, and I have some new exciting girls trips coming up. I'm gonna go to Spain with a bunch of girls. We're gonna be running around naked. It's gonna be awesome. And so my paid is CJ Sparxx Vault. That's because we're keeping it under wraps, because that's where all the extra dirty stuff is. And then my free is CJ Sparxx Fans.
All right, Private Talk, I hope you enjoyed this interview. I know I had a great time getting to know you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on Private Talk, and until next time.